historic conflicts.
August 6, 1945. A clear morning over Hiroshima. And then, silence. A blinding flash, a fireball, and in seconds, a city vanishes. 3 days later, another bomb, another city, over 200,000 lives gone. Why did the United States unleash the most devastating weapons in history on Japan? Was it the only way to end the war? Or was there something more? To understand the decision, we have to go back. December 7th, 1941. Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. The U.S. enters World War II. In the Pacific, the fighting is brutal. The jungles, the islands, the oceans, all soaked in blood. At Iwo Jima, nearly 7,000 American soldiers are killed. At Okinawa, over 12,000 more. And Japan shows no sign of surrender. Their soldiers fight to the death. Civilians jump off cliffs rather than be captured. Kamikaze pilots fly their planes into American ships. By mid-1945, American generals face a terrible question. If we invade Japan itself, how many more lives will it cost? The answer, possibly over 1 million. But what if there was a weapon, powerful enough to end it all? While soldiers fought on islands thousands of miles away, a different kind of battle was being fought in secret, deep in the deserts and labs of the United States. It was called the Manhattan Project. Launched in 1942, this top-secret program brought together some of the greatest scientific minds in the world. Robert Oppenheimer, Enrico Fermi, Niels Bohr. Many were refugees from Nazi-occupied Europe, terrified of what Hitler might create first. Their mission? Build a bomb like the world had never seen. In hidden facilities across America, from Los Alamos to Oak Ridge, thousands of workers labored around the clock. Most had no idea what they were building. In July 19, in the New Mexico desert, the first atomic bomb was tested. The ground shook. A fireball lit the sky brighter than the sun. The code name was Trinity, and it worked. When President Harry Truman heard the news, he knew the world had changed. He said, "We have discovered the most terrible bomb in the history of the world." Now, Truman had a decision to make. Use the bomb or find another way. Advisors told him, Japan will never surrender unless faced with total destruction. And the Soviets, America's uneasy allies, were preparing to enter the war against Japan. If the U.S. used the bomb now, it could end the war before the Soviets arrived and send a message to the world about American power. July 1945, the bomb is ready. Germany has already surrendered, but Japan refuses to back down. The U.S. military estimates that an invasion of mainland Japan could cost over 1 million American lives and even more Japanese casualties. The battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa had shown just how fiercely Japan would fight and how civilians would rather die than surrender. To many in the U.S. leadership, the atomic bomb seemed like a necessary evil, a way to end the war quickly and save lives in the long run. But that wasn't the only reason. In the background, a new rivalry was emerging. The Soviet Union, America's uneasy wartime ally, had agreed to enter the war against Japan. If the Soviets helped defeat Japan, they'd demand influence in Asia, just like they had in Eastern Europe. By dropping the bomb before the Soviets could invade, the U.S. could end the war on its own terms and send Stalin a powerful message. We have the ultimate weapon, and we are not afraid to use it. There was also another reason. One few dared to say out loud: revenge. After Pearl Harbor, after the Bataan Death March, after 4 years of brutal war, many Americans wanted to see Japan punished. Newspapers and public opinion demanded total victory. And so, on August 6, 1945, a U.S. bomber named Enola Gay took off from a quiet island in the Pacific. In its hold was a single bomb. Its name was Little Boy. August 6, 1945, 8:15 a.m. The people of Hiroshima are starting a normal day. Children are walking to school, workers heading to factories, shops opening. Then, without warning, the sky ignites. A single bomb. Little Boy dropped from 31,000 feet. 43 seconds later, Hiroshima disappears. A blinding flash, a shockwave stronger than anything the world has ever felt. Temperatures at the center reach over 4,000 degrees Celsius, enough to melt steel and bone. Buildings vaporize, skin burns away, shadows of people are burned into the walls, the only thing left of them. Over 140,000 people would die as a result of the Hiroshima blast, many in seconds, others slowly, from radiation, from wounds, from silence. But it wasn't over. On August 9th, another American bomber, Boxcar, flew toward the city of Nagasaki. The bomb this time was called Fat Man. The weather was cloudy, the first target was obscured, so the plane turned and dropped the bomb on Nagasaki instead. 70,000 more lives gone. Children, mothers, workers, monks, entire neighborhoods turned to ash. And the radiation? It lingered. Survivors, the hibakusha, lived with burns, cancers, and deep trauma for the rest of their lives. What happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki wasn't just the end of a war, it was the beginning of a new kind of fear, the fear of nuclear destruction. August 15th, 1945. The voice of Emperor Hirohito crackled over Japanese radios. It was the first time that people had ever heard his voice. In solemn tones, he said, "The enemy has begun to employ a new and most cruel bomb. We must endure the unendurable and suffer what is insufferable." Japan would surrender. The war was over. After 6 years, tens of millions of lives lost and entire cities reduced to rubble. World War II had finally come to an end. Across the globe, there was relief. Cheers erupted in Times Square. Soldiers wept, families hugged. But under the celebration lay silence. The silence of Hiroshima. The silence of Nagasaki. The silence of a world that had crossed a line and could never go back. The atomic bomb ended the war. But at what cost? Hiroshima and Nagasaki were not just the end of a war. They were the beginning of a new era, an age where one weapon could destroy an entire city in seconds. The survivors, known as hibakusha, carried the scars on their bodies and in their hearts. Some forgave, some never could. Historians still argue, was it necessary? Did the bomb save lives? Or simply show what we're capable of? Could Japan have surrendered without them? Or was the world just too eager to see how far it could go? Since 1945, no atomic bomb has ever been used again in war, but more than 13,000 still exist. Silent, waiting. We stand on the edge of knowledge and the edge of destruction. The question now is not, why did they drop the bomb? The question is, will we ever drop one again? Thank you for respecting history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and write the bell so you don't miss any battles.